maybe a
Dora, Parallel City.
supporters.
Nothing devastating, I don't think, from either player there.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see how this match turns out. Fabien is opting to go no bursting balloons. So it's really just, yeah, I'm a Zoroark deck. Once I get set up. Oh, wait. Okay, I'm looking at the wrong list. I'm looking at the wrong list. Still no bursting balloons, right?
That's not in a language I can read, so I'm not exactly sure, but I do know that Fabien is going to start things off with a Bridget, Trubbish active, turn 1 Bridget, just solid play when you're playing a deck like this. It relies on having a lot on the board.
Yeah, also starting with the Trubbish and then the Zorua in his hand as well. A full bench without having to play Tapu Lele. Like we said, Tapu Lele is very much a liability nowadays.
And so we see that Fabien is playing the Garbodor, a card that kind of got released and, you know, did very crazy things to the format. Then it kind of died down a little bit. We didn't see a lot of it. Why do you think it's back now?
So I think the simple answer is Buzzwole. Everyone's playing Max Elixirs now. And even Malamar, a lot of their attackers are Psychic weak. And while Buzzwole doesn't play Field Blowers, Malamars and Zoroark decks play plenty. So Garbotoxin isn't really that important, but it still hits like a truck for a single prize attacker. Can't really go wrong.
Yeah, we see Fabien not playing any of the Garbotoxin, Garbodor, just going all Trash-a-Land, just saying, I don't care about this, I'm just going to try to attack, like you said. We see...
That actually could be a good fake out. It might make Riley hold a Field Blower for a turn or two, and like maybe even discard something else because he wants the Field Blower in his hand.
Yeah, exactly. You can kind of throw him off when you have so many good options. And we just see a pass here after an end. Parallel City, Wimpod.
This game could be over quick, guys. There's the Sycamore discarding all the cards. He is going for the Floatstone DCE here. Zoroark.
All right. Oh, triple Zoroark in play.
Trade number 1. DCE. All right. Does he have a way to retreat? Last trade here.
Last trade.
Is that an escape rope? No. All right. There's the pass.
He just passes back and...
And now Riley's kind of just playing a turn down. He has that Bridget, but he's staring down 3 Zoroark GXs.
But the sweat, though, I mean, Riley just feels lucky to kind of be even having this turn, right?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
I mean, that was rough to see. You know, you pass, you're kind of holding your breath, just hold, and then your opponent gets 3 Zoroarks, but just has to ship the turn back. Does Fabien.
Yeah, and unfortunately, since it's not Riley's first turn anymore, that Wimpod's Wimp Out is not being able to be active.
Yeah, that's a hefty 3 retreat cost on that Wimpod.
That is a big boy.
And Bridget gets 3 Zoroark, passes back.
So there we see the trade. Wow. Fabien also did that under parallel.
Yeah, just the 3 Zoroark.
While I might add.
Just like we drew it up.
Oh, there's the Floatstone. A few cards too late for that turn 2 win. All these trades just needs to get everything.
So many cards in hand. Looks like a Guzma is going to go ahead and take care of a Zorua. Double colorless comes down on the Zoroark. Another Trubbish.
And there's Mysterious Treasure, a card that usually is a 4 of in the Malamar deck, but really just kind of a utility card in this Zoroark Garbodor deck. Half your guys are Psychics, so you'll just be able to get what you want.
Yep, and there is a Garbodor. Looks like he actually is playing Garbotoxin. I guess I must have misread the list.
What I actually think he did was wrote the Garbodor for Trashlanch in English, but wrote the Garbotoxin in a different language. Yeah.
What's a good option to have as we see Garbotoxin is now turned on. No abilities for Riley.
Man, this is a dominating board position from Fabien here. Use all the trades you can. Okay, now I'll get Garbodor out.
After I've drawn
good luck.
6 cards.
You have 2 Zorua and a Wimpod in play. I'm sitting pretty.
That's a knockout, and your turn.
So Ultra Ball here really is just not really much you could do. Glyspot is going to be the main attacker in this matchup as far as I know.
It's not like Zorak's going to be able to draw too many cards, but he is finding it with the Ultra Ball.
He might have a Field Blower in hand and nothing else, so it just could be, I need this.
He does have 3 Field Blower, so he will be able, if he can time it right, he will be able to deal with that Garbotoxin.
Oh, his hand's actually pretty good. It's Field Blower and a Sycamore as well. He does discard the Grass Energy, really just trying to hedge his bets because he needs to get something going fast. All right, he does have access to 2 trades now. Another Zoroark, but he knocked out the Zorua last turn.
Yeah, only 2 remain. There's another trade off of a Grass Energy.
And wow, so he's been all in on this Zoroark. He hasn't been able to draw any other basic Pokemon. Zoroark is an amazing card, yes, but Riotous Beating is very anemic, especially with such a low bench.
He's doing a lowly 60 damage, not what we're used to, not what you expect your damage output to be when you put Zoroark GX in your deck.
Yeah, leaving it with 50 or 150 HP remaining is enough to take another knockout with Choice Band and a full bench, but if you need that Choice Band and full bench.
Yeah, exactly. You just want to basically make it so that you need as little as possible in future turns. And I'm sure that Riley thought, all right, well, look at this. I'm going to Field Blower this stuff. I'm going to trade a bunch. He still didn't get
there. There is the Rescue Stretcher for the Kartana GX.
I love Kartana.
It's so good. I want to Blade GX every single game, but I know it's not not quite that amazing. And there's an N as well.
Yeah, DZE is gone. Parallel City, N, 5 cards for Fabien, 6 cards for Riley.
And like knowing Fabien a little bit, talking with him, or he's just watching him play, he chooses the unit energy over maybe like a rainbow energy because that 10 damage actually matters a lot. It puts Garbodor down to 110, which is pretty easy for any person or any Pokemon in a Buzzwole deck to take a knockout.
Right.
And you don't really want to use Trickster GX that much. So the extra damage is really hurting if you do play the Rainbow.
Yeah, these Zoroarks are just going to be for trading and Riotous Beating. No need to use a GX attack. We see a Gliscopod come down on Riley's side.
Yeah, but no Grass Energy in his hand.
Yeah, I think he traded 2 of them away, or at least 1 early.
Yeah, and so we saw it the previous turn. So Riley Field Blower got a little bit set up, got those 2 Zoroark in play. But then since he Field Blowered, Fabian's like, oh, all right, I'll draw 6 cards, and then I'll play an N, and then I'll get a Garbotoxin again. Go.
And there's a knockout from Riley, taking care of the energy and the Trubbish. Ooh, but another enhanced hammer. So many special energy hate in Fabian's deck.
There's a double colorless coming down, and yeah, this is what Zoroark really does best, is just a consistent stream of 2-hit knockouts here.
Garbotoxin online. Ultra Ball was the top deck for Riley. No energy. He's gone through at least 2 double colorless.
Yeah, he has another double colorless in hand, but again, that's not what you want to see when both of your guys have 100 damage or more on it. And with that 60 damage, this Tapu Lele doesn't have enough to take the knockout.
Not just going to go up, put that Zoroark up to 140. Tapu Lele a little bit less important than the Zoroarks, but the double colorless are still very important.
Yeah, we see the Field Blower on his own Floatstone here, just so he can start using these trades again, refuel his hand, and essentially just play another tool down.
Yeah, this is just, I mean...
Oh, there's the double puzzle.
One-sided Garbotoxin. It's not how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, usually we see the one-sidedness from Bursting Balloon, but he's like, I don't need it. That's kind of a gimmick. I'm going to be more consistent.
I mean, Floatstone actually plays an important role. It's like letting Garbodor's retreat.
Yeah.
Sending that is actually really nice. Double puzzle comes down for another puzzle of time and a Guzma.
Oh, yeah, and this is heartbreaking. You just take a knockout on a Zoroark, that Floatstone coming down on the Garbotoxin, and really leaving Riley just on the back foot, having just a Tapu Lele in play with a DCE.
There's a Riotous Beating. There's a knockout. 3 prizes left.
Oh, and he gets another Guzma from the prizes with that double puzzle in hand as well. I only wish Fabien would have an odd number of prize cards. Oh, he does. Okay. Odd number of prize cards. I want to see a Blade GX. If he sees his game plan, that Zoroark on the bench is 2 prizes, and then Kartana will seal the game.
We'll just take a prize, end the game.
It's one of the greatest feelings in Pokemon trading card game.
And there is a Counter Catcher knockout from Riley. Counter Catcher, a pretty cool card. We've seen a little bit in the past. Looks like there's a lot of it at this tournament. Double puzzle again from Fabian's side.
Yeah, Counter Catcher's a card that I actually thought was really underrated.
Me too.
Just most of the time, especially in a format where Buzzwole is the best deck, or at least the most played deck, you're going to be down in prizes. That one Counter Catcher that you could also reuse with Puzzle Time later on in the game, it could swing a matchup.
Back in my day, they just let you play Counter Catcher regardless of prize count.
Good old Pokemon Catcher.
Pre-errata Pokemon Catcher. And the double puzzle comes down for Trubbish Choice Band.
Yeah, definitely wanting that Trubbish so we can take a knockout with a Choice Band on this Zoroark. And there's the unit energy on the Kartana.
All right.
Game is laid out
it's
for
all
next
on the
turn.
board.
I don't want Riley to scoop because I want to see this. No.
All right.
Riley, no.
Fabian advancing, winning game 1 on the back of a pretty good start. Maybe some stumbling from Riley there. And, of course, the all-star Kartana GX.
Oh, of course. I think Riley just didn't want that to happen to him on stream. So he's like, okay.
Well, it's just embarrassing, right? I mean, you can't let your opponent win the game and have it.
All right. So looking forward to game 2.
How do you think things have to change here? Again, this is, what has to change for Riley there in order to swing this game? And do you think he's supposed to? Do you think this matchup's good for Riley, or what's your take on that?
The matchup is pretty bad.
Okay.
I'm not going to lie. Garbotoxin really hurts, but they play a lot of the same cards. So one card that Riley didn't get to use as much just because his setup wasn't optimal is he plays Max Potion. Being able to reuse that is very important. He also plays an Enhanced Hammer of his own.
He actually drew the Max Potion on that last turn. It was one too late.
And then, of course, like we said before, 2 Counter Catcher in this list. And then the Acerola as well. These are the utility cards that Golisopod really uses to just kind of break through a lot of the Zoroark matchups. Unfortunately, since he didn't really get set up, we didn't really get to see any of that.
Looks like both players have put an active Pokemon out. Gonna go ahead and put down their prizes.
Another thing that would help is him not just end passing turn 1.
Yeah, a powerful turn 1 is a pretty good thing to do. Playing cards is good. All right, a bunch of supporters. And we are off. Game 2. Can Riley force a game 3, or will Fabian take it?
This hand is looking sweet. There's Tapu Lele, Wonder Tag for that Bridget. Double Zoroark in Riley's hand for next turn. And usually you're like, well, I have this great hand. What if my opponent ends me? Well, when you're playing another Zoroark deck, you almost like 90% sure, like, well, if they have a good hand, they're going to Bridget turn 1. So my hand's safe.
Exactly. The only way that Fabian doesn't Bridget turn 1 is if his hand is bad, or if he just has the sickest read.
It's kind of like those olden days in tournaments where you were playing against a Blastoise, Black Kyurem with like Tropical Beach, and they just go like, start with my guy, Squirtle, pass.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm like, I know you have Rare Candy Blastoise Juniper in your hand.
They always have it.
And looking at right here, Riley does have it. Man, that is a sick hand.
All right, it's a big board.
Ooh, and a parallel.
City.
That's very important, actually. It could turn Fabien off from trying to go for the Bridget this turn.
Look at that.
He already has a Zorua. He already has a Trubbish. He has another Zora. I don't think he's going to Bridget this turn.
I mean, he has a 2 Zora in play. This Mysterious Treasure is finding.
Does he go for the N? Oh.
Cynthia. I mean, you kind
this is the safer play because, I mean, most of the time when your opponent Bridgets, you know they have another supporter in their hand.
Right.
And N's going to make him draw more cards.
Yeah, you can't blame him for that play.
If Fabien comes back and watches this, N is 100% the play. But he can't know that, and Cynthia is still what you need.
How sick would it be if he just had the read, though? He just confidently slams the N.
I don't know what I would do. Just straight up
the
N.
biggest pop-off in history. But, however, Fabien, 6 new cards. Riley's going to get to keep his hand.
Oh, and awkwardly here, he has that Parallel City in his hand as well, but can't play it down thanks to the one already in play. Another Grass Energy off the top. Most likely will be traded away here from Riley. Already has that one on that Wimpod. You don't really need more than that. Unless you draw another Wimpod.
Like you said, the 2 Zoroarks you predicted are coming down.
He has that Enhanced Hammer in his hand, but with Fabien's kind of rough start, no energy coming down on the board.
So Riley's just going to go ahead and play an N. Just wanted to see some more cards. Didn't have any information about Fabien's hand. Both players resetting to 6. Both players hoping to win this match, advance to 6-0, and just be 1 win away from day 2.
Yeah, definitely just such a huge accomplishment, and both these players accomplished in their own right, just trying to go for that grand title. Really only a few people in the world can say that they've won the North American International Championships, and by a few, I mean one person.
I mean, this is just the, these premier events are what you play Pokemon for, and everyone wants to end up being the champion. For now, these players are focused on this match, this game, knockout for Riley.
Yeah, thankfully for Riley there, he got that double colorless off the end with extra bench Pokemon. Or no, he already had the 4. To take the knockout on the Trubbish, which means Garbotoxin is still far away from being in play.
Yeah, at least a turn we see.
And we actually saw Fabien have Zoroark, Garbotoxin in his hand.
Yeah, he sure did. Instead, he's going to go ahead and just rescue Stretcher in. I think it was Trubbish, Garboter, something else I didn't quite
Trubbish.
Trubbish?
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, look at that hand. And still opts not to bench the Trubbish as well. Instead going with the 3rd Zorua, not being able to play another one because of the Parallel City.
Yeah, that's going to hurt him. Again, going to N. We're going to see a lot of N's thrown around. Although, you know, basically not, like you were saying in the last round, not that good against Zoroark decks. This doesn't really matter unless you have Garbotoxin up.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where Fabien's deck really shines. It plays that full 4N. And that's just because you can have some games like those where it's just like, yeah, I'll have N. Yeah,
I mean, I'm at 2, you're at 2. I'll just N. I'm in a way better spot after that.
Looking at his hand, he does not have a way to get that Parallel City out. He plays that 3 Field Blower, but still does not draw it. No double colors for him either, so
he just passes.
That is, yeah, just a pass. Another Evo Soda coming down from Riley here.
All right. Triple Zoroark in play.
Anything you can do, I can do better.
And uncontested, no Garbotoxin online.
This Parallel is really putting in work for him.
Super powerful card, just locking down Fabien's bench, making him have a lot of tough choices. Another trade.
And, you know, he just has that Glide Spot sitting on the bench with the Grass Energy, just biding his time, waiting.
Just waiting, yeah.
He's like, you know, I'm a pretty good card. I'm gonna come and take a knockout later on in the game.
Yet another trade. That stacked hand from Riley. Plenty of supporters.
Eyeing down that Guzma. Could try to target the Zorua, but it's really just kind of, he's already in play. And there we see Riot is beating 120 damage on the active Zoroark. Oh, it is 3-3 in Zoroarks right now. But again, Parallel City, Can he find Field Blower? No. One more trade left. Let's go. And again, no Field Blower. He does find energy now, but he's going to have to attach it to the active, which is getting knocked out next turn, 100%.
Yeah, not what he was looking for at all. He just goes hit. It's a non-knockout Riot. It's beating 110 damage. But now it's on Riley.
The Choice Band is pretty neat here, just because it's the one way he can deal more damage with his limited bench space.
Yeah, the Choice Band's huge there, but it's still not exactly what he was looking for.
Oh, and Riley actually gets a Mallow off the second trade from Zoroark. Mallow, one of the key supporter cards in these Zoroark decks, which he actually just discards it. I have everything in my hand. I don't need anything.
Yeah, I just want some raw cards.
He needs to trade Fabien some of his Field Blowers in his hand. Maybe. There is the Max Potion coming down, discarding the double colorless. And with plenty of energy in his hand, it is looking pretty sweet for Riley here.
And that play in particular is really how you know how Riley is thinking about this game, where he's just saying, I don't care that I'm kind of wasting a resource in my double colorless. I'm just getting rid of this. I don't think you have it. I'm kind of basically negating your entire last turn. I'm just putting as much pressure on you as possible, forcing you to have it over and over and over again.
Misses that Field Blower, and again, no Field Blower here. 2 Parallel City in his hand. This hand is not good.
He does find the Tapu Lele GX, but now his bench is full.
Yeah. And he's eyeing down that N as well.
But no chance of Garbotoxin this turn. There's not even a Trubbish on the board, and he has to deal with that.
No double colorless coming down.
Yeah, so just, I mean, he's going to get 6 fresh cards here, but he's not putting Riley under any pressure.
Yeah, and unfortunately, usually with Zoroark decks, it's kind of this interesting trade-off, no pun intended, where you either try to trade before a supporter or you trade after. A lot of people are really split on it. I usually believe that you try to trade before if you're actually digging for something, like that Field Blower. Because if he got that Field Blower, his hand was insane. Well, not really insane, but like, you know, workable.
Speaking of Field Blower, he does hit it, gets rid of the Parallel City, plays one of his own. There is a bench limiting side on Riley. There comes Kartana GX, and still just a pass.
Yeah, so discarding that double colorless does help him a little bit, especially seeing that Riley just discarded the double colorless with Max Potion the turn before. He's going to have to try to figure out some stuff with these trades. Not really giving him what he needs here. Really just like counter catchers and Ultra Balls. Another Zoroark. No. The only supporter I see in his hand is an Acerola. There is an Ultra Ball, but he cannot get Tapu Lele here. We might just see a pass from him, and Fabien could see this as an opening.
Yeah, that was actually a huge swing. Like, not only hitting the Field Blower to knock off the stadium, but also the Kartana just kind of putting Riley on nothing, making him have it.
And here we see another N as well.
Riley going down to 3 cards. Again, not as useful with the Zoroarks in play. However, he's still starting from fewer cards. You know, if his draws last turn were any indication, he's not going to be able to get out of it. So both players need a lot here, especially with Fabien being at 6 prizes. But 6 fresh cards, some trades, he can put a lot together.
I mean, if you're just tuning in, looking at the board state, you're like, how does Riley lose this game? Some things could go wrong. And Fabien does play a lot of energy disruption as well. Trading away all those unit energies. He has given up on the Garbodor plan this game.
You got to trade away something, and I think he's just kind of identifying, okay, well, I don't need these energies. I want to draw more cards. It's not going to be relevant.
He does have that double puzzle of time here. Looks like N and a Trubbish. All right, so last-ditch effort to try to get this Garbotoxin active.
Trubbish comes down, double colorless on the Zoroark. A nice riotous beating there.
A Golisopod for the draw, not what he wants, gets discarded right away. I suspect that other Zoroark GX will also get discarded. Double puzzle of time, off the top. Now 3 in hand. There is quite a few double colorless in the discard, if I believe.
So there's a lot of options here. Field Blower 2,
That's the big one. Field Blower, making it so he can play that Tapu Lele down, get what believes to look like a Guzma.
He has pulled a Guzma to the front. Let's go ahead and Guzma that Trubbish saying, okay, I need to keep you off of Garbotoxin. I can't afford for a Garbodor to come out. I'm gonna.
I love this play. He's already on odd number of prizes. And he's like, oh, well, I'm going to finally attack with Gliscod for the first time this match.
And making a good first impression there is Gliscod. Taking a knockout. 2 prizes left for Riley. Any GX knockout will do it.
Gliscod is the boy you want to bring home to your parents. He will make a good
Always
first
makes
impression
good
every
first
time.
Impressions. Exactly.
Ultra Ball gets another Trubbish, and then we see an N putting Riley down to 2. But really, is it 2?
I got 3 Zoroarks. Doesn't really end up mattering too much here. Gliscod, the thing about Gliscod too is it's just ready for an even bigger, different attack next turn. It's just did some damage, got sent up, made a good first impression, and now just has so many other options. The card just can do so many different things.
Yeah, he makes a good first impression, then he's gonna protect your girl, and then, he's gonna come up and cut up some food for you.
I don't know about all that, but we'll see a riotous beating on the Gliscod.
All right, so again, Riley's hand is essentially 6 to 8 cards after all these trades. Discards the Parallel City. It's quite weird in this deck because you don't want to limit your bench when you're attacking with the Zoroark, but you don't want to limit your damage output when you're attacking with Gliscod. And against a board of Fabians of 2 Tapu Lele and a Kartana, you kind of don't want to limit his bench either.
Yeah, exactly. Neither side was really good. Even though we have seen Parallel City play a big role, neither side was really good in that spot. So that's what we saw. Riley just wisely choose to get rid of it there for the trade.
And yeah, really just fearing that Garbotoxin. One of the biggest comeback potentials for this deck is Garbotoxin end to 1 or end to 2. So he does not want to have to deal with that this game.
Yeah, he's just saying, I'm not concerned about it. I've got a little bit of time. I just want to keep you off of that. Or even the attacking Garbodor too. I'm not sure what Riley's discard pile is looking like.
Fabian's really digging for something here. It could be a Guzma. It could be another Puzzle of Time as well. He already used both his trades, though, and I don't see anything really of merit in his hand because he has those 2 big GX Pokemon on the bench that have 120 damage, but he can't really do anything.
Puzzle off the top.
Wow. 2 Puzzle of Time in Riley's hand. He has the Field Blower discard. He also hasn't played Acerola yet, and the Max Potion is in the discard as well.
Choice Band, Evo Soda off the next trade. 1 trade remaining. Here comes the double puzzle.
Double puzzle getting back. Double colorless, it looks like. And Guzma, he could be just like really just mad at Kartana for winning the first game.
Looks like
yes,
that's what's happening. And
he is so mad at Kartana. He takes the knockout with Crossing Cut GX, 180 damage. And we're on to a game 3.
Yeah, Riley tied things up in a pretty impressive fashion there. He just kind of was dominating the game from the beginning. Fabien had really one good turn there. The parallel Kartana turn kind of setting things back, but it just slowed things down for a bit, but really just slowed down the inevitable.
Well, yeah, all these ends in his deck, they're very good. But when your opponent has 3 Zoroark in play, they're not that good at all.
It also was interesting because every time the first time he played the end, he found the Trubbish.
Yeah.
He was saying, okay, I can maybe lock you out next turn, but you're going to get at least 1 turn of it. And then Trubbish got knocked out, and then it was, okay, well, now these ends are basically useless. Like, these ends are just Cynthia's, basically.
Yeah.
He's just trying to draw cards. So that game taught you anything? I think it's just the importance of Garbotoxin. We saw Fabien kind of not really care about it at first. He was, heavy Zoroark, or heavy Zoroark, rather. And then we saw him say, okay, this is how I actually need to win this game in the later half. I need to lock this up. And then you saw Riley respect it too with, okay, I'm just going to make, I'm going to make these plays that maybe, I don't want to say suboptimal, but maybe aren't kind of the obvious play because I just want to keep this Trubbish off the board.
Yeah, 100%. And also we saw the power of turn 1 Bridget as well. So far, the 2 winners in each of these matches have played turn 1 Bridget while their opponent has not.
Oh, you know, you and I were talking about statistics off mic earlier, and I would love to see just the stats for how many players win matches or win games by playing turn 1 Bridget. Like what your win percentage is just when you get to play a Bridget on turn 1.
All right, guys.
And your opponent doesn't.
Get working on
Someone run the numbers. Chris Szymanski. All right.
Players are set up.
3.
Let's take a look at their prizes. Double colorless, a parallel city as well.
Over on Fabian's side. 2 parallel city.
Oh,
Rubbish.
that's going to be big.
Yeah, we saw the parallel city play a big role in the match so far. We are started game 3 here. The winner will advance to 6-0.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Okay, Sycamore.
This could be a quick one, folks.
Stone.
All right. He has a couple basics.
He's got a Kartana too. Going to choose not to play it. Retreat right into that Trubbish and pass a turn back. Okay, that could have been dangerous. That was a heart-stopping moment.
That was a classic Tapu Lele DCE, take a knockout.
Yeah.
Which still could happen. Okay, no. Odds for the Enhanced Hammer. Gets rid of that double colorless.
Does he not have much? I can't quite see.
I know.
Attach?
Oh, no. His hand is counter catcher, Guzma,
all
Mew
reactive
EX,
cards.
double colorless. Wow.
Passes a turn back. Zoroark for Fabien.
If Fabien can actually find a Bridget here, that's probably his ideal play this turn. He does have that Guzma for the Zorua, but he's forced to bench the Kartana just so he could take the knockout on the Zorua. But I would do that trade-off every time.
Yeah, I mean, this seems fine when you're just eliminating your opponent's option to have Zoroark next turn, setting him so far behind. Floatstone was the top deck?
Yeah. He's going to be forced to bench that Mew EX, a card that you do not want to see against this Garbodor deck.
DCE. All right, the Desperation.
Riotous beating for knockout thanks to weakness.
Taking a prize, but not advancing the game state in the way that Riley wants.
Yeah, so we see an Enhanced Hammer in Fabian's hand, but he opts to trade first. So many puzzle at times.
Latios.
Yeah, Latios is a card that has been teched into a lot of these Zoroark decks recently. It's kind of taken the place of Mewtwo for some players. They kind of opt for 2 Mew EX and a Latios in their Zoroark Lysipod, for example. It's just a quick and easy attacker for double colorless. It does 30 and 30, and since it's psychic, you hit for weakness, and it's pretty good.
Makes sense. Non-EX attacker, attacks for double colorless, fits pretty well into this deck. Double puzzle for Puzzle of Time and Guzma.
One thing to note with Latios in this deck as well is with unit energy, you can actually use a second attack.
Ooh.
Yeah, which does 70
beautiful.
for 3. Which, with a Choice Band, knocks out a Buzzwole GX.
All right, all puzzles have been used. This one is going to recur. These ones, rather, are going to recur Trubbish and Guzma. Parallel City, knockout. Riley has a lone Mew EX.
Here it is.
Top deck, Puzzle of Time.
There's the Tapu Lele, though.
Tapu Lele as well.
He must have got that from the prizes. Wow.
All right, there's the Floatstone. He's still in it. Tapu Lele, Wonder Tag. Immediately puts an N in front of his deck. But again, like we've talked about all match, it's not really where you want to be, but he just has to do it. He can't afford to leave himself empty-handed. Before he plays Dan, he's going to go ahead and play a counter catcher.
Yep,
bring up that Trubbish.
Before the counter catcher, I would have thought he's just on the Tapu Lele attack plan. Hope to get a double colorless, deal 80 to the Zoroark, and then next turn try to just knock it out.
No, he's valuing just using his counter catchers wisely, putting that Trubbish in the active position.
Yeah, this is going to be a very big end, though. Fabian's down to 4 prizes, but he only has 1 Zoroark in play, so a little less cards he'll be able to draw compared to the 2 previous games for both these players. Meanwhile, Riley is just draw 5, hope I get everything I need. There's that second Mew EX we were talking about as well, something he does not want to see.
No Zorua and no way to search one out.
No, he has the Ultra Ball. So
okay,
his hand is actually okay. he has Ultra Ball discard 2 cards he doesn't want.
He's going to
Get a Zorua, and then has a Zoroark Sycamore for next turn.
Yeah.
But this whole plan just loses to a Guzma.
Yeah. I mean, this is the spot. So Riley kind of knows that he's in a bad spot, right? You have to just hope that this works out. Like, what else are you going to do, right?
Yeah.
His hand is fine. His hand is good if nothing changes, but so much could change in the blink of an eye in just one turn.
I think Fabien drew a Mysterious Treasure for the turn and has the Lele in hand anyway. Here, the Guzma will come down almost 100%. Bringing up that Zorua. And, man, Riley, he's on the back foot.
Oh, he's been on the back foot this entire game, just trying to piece something together. But unfortunately, he just had to leave himself so vulnerable.
There's the Guzma bringing up that Zorua. And Fabien has been not the most consistent this game, but more consistent than Riley.
Acerola is nothing. Sycamore discards Acerola and Zoroark. 7 new cards.
Double
puzzle. So we got some options for Riley.
There's another puzzle in his hand. That hand is not looking that good.
Puzzling.
That hand is very puzzling, Kenny. 3 times as puzzling.
Puzzling for Riley, too. It's something going to take some time to consider what he wants to do.
Yeah, unfortunately, with none of his basics in play to try to get those stage 1 attackers out to where Mew can even really use a good attack. If he does get double colorless, he can use Riotous Beating, but with no bench Pokemon, he's going to be doing, I think, 20 damage.
And it looks like he's kind of in a tough position here where he has to get a Zorua with the double puzzle, and he's basically forced to get N, too.
Yeah, he could go for the Wimpod here, but because he has that Gliscod in hand. But if you don't get the N, he doesn't have a supporter for next turn at all.
Retreat, promoting Tapu Lele, and passing another Zoroark comes down for Fabien. First trade, DCE Evo Soda.
Second trade.
Second trade comes down.
Choice Band's actually a pretty big card. You can do some cute stuff. Attach Choice Band to Zoroark, deal 150, and then later on be able to snipe the Tapu Lele with Latios.
Yeah. All right, but he's going to go ahead and do 120 to the Tapu Lele.
Yeah.
Riley draws another Zorua. All right. We know he has that N from before.
He actually chooses not to attach another grass to that Tapu Lele. Really just, okay, I'm going to retreat this. Maybe, hopefully I get a max potion. That'd be pretty good.
If he commits his attachment here, that's just so bad on a lot of levels, because if this Tapu Lele gets knocked out, it's just, that's the game.
Yeah, Fabien's already down to 3 prizes.
Yeah.
But he really needs to draw something off this end, and he only gets 5 cards.
Let's see.
And remember, he has discarded a couple Zoroarks as well. 2 Bridget. Yeah. Kind of a little late.
No Zoroark double. He has 1 double colorless. No way. No max potion, like you were saying, to maybe heal the Tapu Lele.
Wow, yeah, double colorless on the Tapu Lele. 100 damage on the Zoroark, and Fabien's like, oh yeah.
Wow,
he can almost taste the victory right now.
That's just not what you want to see. I mean,
oh yes, Blade GX. Field Blower, the Float Stone, kind of just playing his cards. He doesn't want to draw him off this end.
No, yeah, I mean, now the win's just on the board, right?
Yeah.
Knock out the Tapu Lele, Blade GX next turn. I mean, we know that Riley has 1 hammer, is it, or 2?
He has one enhanced hammer, yeah.
Has he used it?
I don't believe so.
Last game, yeah, okay, so... I mean, either way, it's not as if the enhanced hammer on the Blade GX delaying things 1 turn is going to be huge for him, right? He needs to put together a lot more here.
Yeah, and he has no Zoroark in play. He has no evolutions in play. This end, though, those 5 cards were pretty good. Double Evo Soda, Field Blower, and...
Revealing the top card of his deck there is Riley.
Yeah.
A single prize left. There's the first Evo Soda for that Zoroark.
He has to dig for that enhanced hammer. game is on board. Evo Soda's coming down. He knows it's in the deck. I know it was in his hand earlier.
He's got a lot of draws here. I mean, he's thinning his deck of the Zoroarks. Those are going to be able to have trade because, again, Garbotoxin is not active. Let's see where he can go from here. So this is just purely staying in the game. This turn is all about being able to deal with the energy on the Kartana and stay in the game. Here's an N. 5 cards, putting Fabien down to just 1.
5 cards will technically see 9. Out of those 9, he does need that Enhanced Hammer. And yeah, it'll be huge if Riley can actually take a knockout this turn on top of getting that Enhanced Hammer and ending Fabien down to 1. He's only going to have 1 Zoroark in play to try to draw out of it.
This is a huge turn.
Bridget off the top for him. So double colorless for Riley here in his hand.
Right.
That's one piece of the puzzle.
He has Golisopod. I mean, this doesn't. He's Ultra Balling there?
So the Ultra Ball could just thin out his deck more. He did play that Zoro down this turn, so he won't be able to evolve it. So yeah, Tapu Lele, Wonder Tag for Bridget. He's just going to trade that away.
Yeah, he's just getting cards out of his deck here. It's Enhanced Hammer or a bust. The Kartana GX, I mean, it just literally just needs to announce the attack.
All right, first trade here. Does not hit that Enhanced Hammer. This is the game right here. He needs this Enhanced Hammer this turn just to stay in it.
1,
no,
2, and that's the counter catcher, and that's the hand. Fabien Pujol will advance to 6-0 here at the North American International Championship. Heartbreaking way for Riley to lose there. Gave it his all, but just could not find it.
Oh, definitely not. And
once again, he did deny Fabien the Blade GX.
Oh, man. I just want to see it on stream, man. Could have seen it twice.
So is that about how you expected the matchup to go? I know you said going into game 2 that it was pretty poor. Riley was going to have to kind of get lucky there.
Yeah, Riley really just needs to, like, that setup he had game 2 is